I mean, that's nice. They got him a stretcher, I guess. But it seemed like he need more medical attention than that. I mean, that's a start.
Oh, well, we have to get him out so they can start the next bout. So.
His life has been just one amazing adventure after another.
Welcome once again to another edition of the Stand-Up Guys. I'm Patrick Robles. He is Edge Brown. Edge, what is your favorite Chuck Norris fact?
Oh, wow. The favorite fact is, Chuck Norris, have you ever seen the fight that he did with Bruce Lee in Way of the Dragon?
Yeah.
I think everybody has seen that, but I mean, that was made in like 1972, 73, that was done?
Yeah, 73.
Yeah, and he still holds up today as one of the best movie fight scenes ever. But I remember Chuck Norris relaying the story of when he shot the movie and the movie came out, and he goes back to his karate studio in Los Angeles, and all his students are there, and some of them are crying. They thought he actually died during that fight scene because it was so realistic, especially for back then. And he said they were all there crying and hugging him. They thought he had passed away for real.
Yeah. So my favorite Chuck Norris fact: Chuck Norris keeps guns around his house, not for his protection, but to give his enemies a fighting chance. So yes, Chuck Norris has passed away, and we have a full show. We have a lot to get to. This is probably going to run long, but when an icon passes, guess what? We move stuff around. I have facts and figures, but I absolutely asked you not to say anything until we got here, so this is just us talking. Yeah. Edge, what did Chuck Norris mean to you?
Oh, God. So, I remember when I was a kid and I saw The Way of the Dragon and I saw that fight scene. Mm-hmm. And then I actually got to see some clips of Chuck Norris when he was actually fighting and he was world karate champion. And it just meant a lot to me. And I actually got to meet Joe Louis, not the boxer, the martial arts, Joe Louis. And he was talking about Chuck Norris and how good he was. And Chuck Norris beat him. And he became the world's first full contact champion. Yeah. So then, obviously every Chuck Norris movie that came out, Good Guys Wear Black was one of the first ones, that he did by himself. Uh-huh. I watched most of his movies, but it was a big inspiration to me as far as being a martial artist.
All right. So I do have some facts and figures here. First, he passed away on March 19th, was actually announced March 20th, he died at the age 86 in Kauai. He's survived by his wife, Gina O'Kelly, and 5 children. He was born March 10th, 1940 in Ryan, Oklahoma. So he just celebrated his 86th birthday. The type of fighting he did, it was obviously not modern kickboxing or MMA. There was no leg kicks or prolonged exchanges. It was more of a point fighting style. But his overall career, 183, 10-2 as a pro, 65-5, and from 1966 to 1974, he was basically unbeaten. He had, let's see here, he's a world professional middleweight karate champion, so that's 6 consecutive titles, karate triple crown, all-American karate champion 1966, world middleweight champion 1967, international karate champion 1968, fighter of the year 69, and the very first member of the Black Belt Hall of Fame. Notable wins: Joe Louis, like you said, Luis Delgado, Skipper Mullins, Victor Moore, and him and Bill Superfoot Wallace had a 90-minute stalemate, and he did Tang Soo Do. Yeah, are you familiar with that?
Yeah, it's a Korean martial arts, same as like Aikido and what's another Korean martial art?
Taekwondo, yeah. Did you know that he also did jiu-jitsu and judo?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so he cross-trained, probably, a lot of like the Bruce Lee inspired stuff because he wanted to cross-train, but he trained with Gene LaBelle. He trained with the Greasy family, and he was a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, along with a 10th degree black belt in Tang Soo Do, 8th degree black belt in Taekwondo. I did not know who he was because I'm a little younger than you. I didn't know who he was until Good Guys Wear Black, but the big thing was him, side-kicking through a windshield.
Oh, yeah, the car? Yeah.
And that was an image from my childhood. And I remember as kids, we talked about his fight with Bruce Lee as this legendary thing, and I didn't see it till years after it happened. And that was in Way of the Dragon, which was later on Return of the Dragon. And there was a big thing about making sure it's as realistic as possible, that they did a karate fight versus Bruce Lee style. And just showing the respect, filming it at the Coliseum. I mean, it was a seminal moment in martial arts history.
Yeah, apparently he trained with Bruce Lee before they did the movie, and so Bruce Lee actually contacted him and said, let's do this fight scene for the movie. And Chuck Norris goes, well, your fight scenes, you're just going to beat me up, that's nothing. And Bruce Lee said, no, we're going to make it a back and forth fight, so make it a lot more realistic than was usually done in the martial arts movies back then.
Right. So I also remember I had HBO, and we're going to talk about this later on, cable TV and stuff. He had a movie called Silent Rage, which he played like a small town sheriff, and like some psycho is like, it's almost a Terminator type guy is like, is taking out his little town, and he has to fight with that. I thought that was an amazing movie. And while I was prepping for this podcast, just watched Code of Silence.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, you heard me say my little funny fact. Later on, he became an internet sensation. These Chuck Norris facts. I'm doing facts and quotes. Do you know how that started?
No.
So about 2005, it was in internet forums, and these were initially Vin Diesel facts, but it quickly morphed into Chuck Norris facts. And so around 2005, 2006, it was, just some funny fact, and Chuck Norris absolutely embraced it. It was a wonderful thing, and it kind of kept the legend alive.
Oh man, he's a great guy. As well, I met Howard Jackson. Remember Howard Jackson? He was a kickboxer and a boxer. He actually fought Benny Urquidez back in the day, and he lost a disputed decision. Well, he fought in Amsterdam. He fought Andre Brulleman. Yeah. And I was at the fight, so I got to hang out, actually shared a hotel room with Howard Jackson after. And at the time, Howard Jackson was an instructor at Chuck Norris's karate studio. And he said, you need to come to California to the studio. Yeah. I was living in England then, and I never took him up on his offer.
So you could have because you never did meet Chuck Norris.
I never met him, no, but I could have, had a chance to.
And I would say, since we've been doing this podcast, other than George Foreman, and I definitely don't want to turn this into a contest, this is like the most significant kind of martial arts, passing we've had.
Oh, yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Foreman in him. So rest in peace to Chuck Norris. I'm going to post the fight against Bruce Lee on our page, a little link to that. But, but if you've never seen this stuff, shame on you. If you're listening to this, I'm sure you're quite familiar with the man's work.
If you've never watched the Bruce Lee Chuck Norris fight, go to YouTube right now and turn it on.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to watch it.
All right. So rest in peace, Chuck Norris. So we now begin, the show, and this is going to be an interesting show because for the first time in I don't know how many shows, I can't count, we have nothing on Floyd Mayweather, we have no drug testing news, and we have no Tank Davis getting arrested news. But what we do start, we're going to be starting with reviews, and we're going to very quickly start where we ended last week, which was Jai Opetaia versus Brandon Glanton in a historic moment, the first ever Zuffa titleist.
Zuffa belt, yeah. The fight was not that great.
We called it fight. Basically.
Yeah. One-sided. Glanton's a tough guy. Pushed forward, went the distance. And there was a bit of a drama with the IBF
belt. He is right now. Technically, he's still the champion.
The champion.
It is ongoing, but he is still technically the champion. But other than that, not too much. And we got to get me. But I mean, good performance by Jai. And yeah. And let's see what happens next. But what we do want to review, ProBox TV, and this was on March 13th, 2026. A light heavyweight fight of the year. Oh, it is not even contender. It's the fight of the year so far between Najee Lopez and Manuel Gallegos, which Najee Lopez did win by 8th round TKO. But oh my God,
what a fight!
Yeah,
what a fight! These guys put on a show.
Well, it's special when the announcers come out like full of blood, which they literally did. And this is the type of fight that Zuffa announcers always claim we're watching. And we actually watched.
Really? I think ProBox TV are like way ahead of Zuffa. I think Zuffa wants to be like what ProBox TV is now. Yeah. Because they put on some really good matchups. And this one was like one of the best ones they've put on.
Yeah. So obviously a back and forth. Round two, there was like a head clash. And Najee Lopez had an awful
gash, yeah.
And it was like, this is going to get called. This is actually going to be a no contest or something. But they kept letting it go. And Najee obviously couldn't see, track punches, but it didn't matter. And he staggered Gallegos, but every time Gallegos got staggered, his solution was like, okay, well, I'm going to come forward and throw more punches.
He came back stronger, yeah. They're both throwing like huge bombs and landing them. It was great.
Yeah. In the fifth, I think Gallegos comes out. Lopez comes out and just smacks Gallegos, and all of a sudden, but Lopez goes down because Gallegos gets him back.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was another clash ahead, so now Gallegos has a cut, and in this round 7, it just back and forth, and finally in the 8th, we're getting nonstop moments, and finally Gallegos is dropped, and the fight was stopped at the right time. But how about the performance by the referee?
Yeah, I think the referee was jumping in to stop it before the final punch that took Gallegos down. So the referee was really good.
Yeah, and he gave him enough time. And the second head clash was like kind of a bang bang moment. It was like a blink of an eye, and as referee Chris Young, he got it right, but he basically stayed out of the way and let these guys smack each other around. Yeah,
he let him fight. He was a good referee. So that's when referees don't make themselves a story and let the guys perform. Then you get a way better fight.
So it takes 2 to tango. Nothing. But, so Najee Lopez, he can't survive too many more fights like that. But props to Manuel Gallegos. What do you call it? Props to Gallegos because it is Manuel Gallegos.
Yeah.
You can't have a fight without him, and he did himself proud. Once again, though, might want to think about your style.
he came to win. Yeah.
I
think in the end he was. A bit of exhaustion in the end. He was just so tired at the pace of that fight. For 2 guys that are light heavyweights that big, going at the pace they went at, that takes a lot of energy.
And once again, great announcing too. And they made a great point. There's a difference between getting staggered in the first round and getting staggered in the 8th round of a fight like that. That's 2 different staggering, so to speak. Yeah. So when Gallegos was in trouble in the 8th, he was really in trouble. Yeah.
They get staggered in the first round. You can get back,
you clinch,
recover quickly.
Yeah.
In the 8th round, you're exhausted as well, so it's harder to come back from that. Yeah.
So amazing fight, and we have that fight just as a standalone posted. So Najee Lopez continues, and he had what's his face, Berlenga in his corner too. So and I would just like to say, Gallegos' corner man. You can't win if you're going to wear them short shorts, all right? He had like these short shorts on. That's unacceptable, man. It's a team effort. You cannot win a close fight if your trainer has little short shorts. It's unacceptable. So let's clean that up.
Yeah.
Hey, just either regular pants, some sweats, but shorts, baggy shorts, please.
No hot pants.
Unacceptable. Okay. So, man, we are full today, full of firsts or whatever. So we're going to start with the news portion. We have kind of a nice long segment here, but this is the first time that we can actually say StreamEast and crack streams out loud and not get in trouble. So a piracy operation was broken up in Egypt, and this would have been on March 8th. The original raid was the 25th. This was near Cairo. Egypt's Attorney General referred the case to criminal trial March 8th. So basically, it was StreamEast. You got to think of this as 2 things. Number one is a franchise. Yeah. So they just broke up a piracy operation. They did not break up StreamEast because you can clone the operation.
Yeah.
However, what kind of happened? If you've ever been in trouble at work, there's a difference between your shift supervisor pulling you aside, or you go into the conference room with the head of operations in the HR department.
Yeah.
We are into HR department because basically the NFL, the NBA, DAZN, BN, is it BN?
BN Sports, yeah.
Yeah, so they all do soccer, football, whatever. They all do streaming, and now their money's getting messed with. This place, these people they busted, 120 domains, 1.6 billion visits annually.
Yeah,
and so the big dog's money is getting messed with. So basically what that means is when it's just, before it's like individual companies, it's civil enforcements, it's this. Once you get these guys involved, now you're I'm making quotes, a transnational criminal organization. Now there's investigations. Now there's world tracking. Now they're coming after you.
Yeah, well, it was in collaboration with the US-based Alliance for Creativity and Entertainment, ACE. They put together this
Right.
like a arrest.
But once again, they're not going to do it for Top Rank,
No.
but for NFL,
Everybody,
and
all
being,
the big conglomerates.
And being, because I'd never really heard of them, but they're big in Europe and the Middle East.
Bein Sports is big here too.
Yeah, and so
If
they
you watch
have
soccer.
they have all the rights to that stuff.
Yeah.
So when you're streaming, and I checked, I think I have it down here because I wanted to get it right. There's about there's like 8 billion people on the planet, whatever.
Yeah.
There's about 5 billion people who have internet, and maybe 2 to 3 billion who can actually afford and legally access streaming. So when you're talking about 1.6 billion people, and obviously that's a lot of the people repeat, but still, that's a chunk.
It is a chunk. Yeah,
that's a sizable chunk. That's a real chunk.
Yeah.
And now it's not just become like a protest; it becomes a behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh well, it's sad to see them go.
That's the thing; they're not going anywhere. Those guys.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, it's very easy to do this. You just.
But they only arrested 2 people.
You're right.
It's kind of so I'm sure there are other people involved that can keep it going.
Oh yeah, no, and it's easy to do. It's decentralized, it's cheap to rebuild, and it's global. If you just have like the internet know-how anywhere in the world, you can do this. So they definitely did not take down StreamEast and crack streams. And once again, I'm just so happy we could say it. It's in the New York Times, so we're not getting ourselves in trouble.
I'm surprised that these guys didn't do it from the ocean, from a ship, because then it's harder for them legally to go get them.
Well, my understanding is they actually do it a lot in Russia, and Putin's whole thing is, don't mess with anyone here, but you want to take like IP content for the rest of the world, whatever. We don't care. We don't care. Yeah. So,
I'm sure China's got the same stance as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Just don't mess with it over here. So, the whole point is that's streaming, and it's become a behavior. And what we want to do is maybe take a look at kind of the history of streaming and whatever. Yeah. So, streaming closed circuit. What was your first ever like closed circuit event? What's the first time you ever went and watched closed circuit?
Closed circuit.
Because I know what mine is, but
I think it's Leonard Hearns was my first one.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's mine.
It is, yeah.
You didn't do like the early Ali fights and that sort of thing?
No, I didn't do the early Ali fights. Yeah.
So my first was Leonard Hearns. So we're going to get to that, but we're going to take just a quick step back. When do you think closed circuit was invented? This was really fascinating.
So around 68, 69?
Try 1927.
Oh, man.
A guy by the name of Leon Theremin got the prototype, and then in 1942, a German scientist named Walter Bruce used it so you could monitor rocket launches, without getting blasted in the face. So it basically, you literally would have, a point-to-point cable, and you could do it. And so the expansions was in the 60s and 70s. Indianapolis 500 used to be closed circuit when Billie Jean King fought Bobby Riggs.
Yeah.
Closed circuit. Elvis Presley, that's his famous thing from Hawaii, closed circuit. And obviously, Evel Knievel, jumping over stage. So those were all closed circuits. But for us, boxing, 1948, Joe Louis versus Jersey Joe Walcott 2 was a closed circuit in theaters. The technology already existed. Ollie Frazier, closed circuit, Ollie Foreman, and Leonard Hearns. So right around there, you started also to get the beginning of what would be roughly pay-per-view, which is how it so you watched Leonard Hearns in the theater. Why?
In the theater.
Okay, I watched it at home, which we'll get to. So this technology is like any other technology, is that it starts with like more wealthier people. So famously, the Rumble in the Jungle, Mobutu had his own closed circuit. So basically pay-per-view. And that was the same thing. So for things like Ollie Foreman, Duran Leonard, the Thriller Manila, if you were rich enough, if you were a government official, you got your own pay-per-view. The problem was it was very limited. The technology exists. It's not, it's not available to people. It's really clunky. And like I said, it's like anyone else, like the 1% gets it first and then it filters down. So that's where Leonard Hearns comes in. And you said you had a story about going to go see. Yeah,
because I was in Birmingham and it wasn't on a closed circuit in Birmingham. So I think London was the only city in England that had it on closed circuit. So I had to go down to London to watch it. Caught the train down there.
How far away was that?
London, it's like 100 miles.
Right.
Yeah.
And so to the kids out there, Leonard Hearns at the time was just
huge.
It was enormous. They talked about it for months, and it was like on a Monday night too. It was huge. So I watched it. So at the time, this is how I'm going to go how I remember it and what actually happened. I remember because cable at that point did exist, and cable was literally so there's a difference. Like broadcast, you take a TV, you could set it anywhere in the world, and you got your little antenna, and you could get a broadcast signal, same as a radio. Cable worked. You had to have like a hookup into the back of your TV. Everyone, I'm not telling anyone anything they don't know, and I thought that's how Leonard Hearns worked. They basically invented a cable channel, and you bought that cable channel, so it was quote unquote pay-per-view. No, it was over broadcast signal. And did they have the squiggly line channel in England? Probably not.
They did, yeah.
They did have the squiggly line.
Channel.
Yeah. So any kid in the Bay Area is familiar with Channel 26.
Yeah.
So yes, it was on Channel 26. So because my uncle Chip had talked about he wasn't allowed to have cable, but we'll let you decode the squiggly line. And I guess it was some contraption you put on the back of the house. It barely worked, but for Leonard Hearns, it worked. So it was basically certain markets in the U.S., and it was not across, had this squiggly line. So this was also the birth of piracy. My friend Al, who lived in Oakland, said he got it for free, and I'm like, well, how'd that happen? And in early cable signals, the signal for the channels was already being sent. The box just said, take it or don't take it, basically unscramble it. Your cable box wasn't receiving HBO or Fight on Demand. It was simply blocking or allowing access. And cable companies introduced addressable boxes. They could remotely send a signal telling your specific box to unlock a channel. Well, these got unlocked by accident all the time, or there could be some bleed over. So if your neighbor was unlocked, you could actually get yours unlocked too. And that was early piracy.
Early piracy,
and that's how my friend saw the fight.
But I remember those boxes. I used to have one of those boxes when I lived in New York that unscrambled the pay-per-view channels. So I got to watch quite a few fights that way. So
that's later on when you kind of had cable. So those earlier systems, it was called Star TV or whatever. So in the 90s, you just had cable systems that would do your pay-per-view, but before that, you still had closed circuit. So other closed circuit stuff was there was something called Starrcade, which was pro wrestling. That was in 1983. The first WrestleMania was closed circuit, and the way that worked is you just had it was a point-to-point thing, but if there was any problem from like where the signal was originating at, you'd have problems for everyone who was receiving it. So a lot of times you like so when I watched that first WrestleMania, I watched it at the Civic Center in San Francisco. We missed half of it. It was like it was all kinds of stuff. It was the technology was not perfect. Now it's just like you just buy it and whatever. So so early pay-per-view was Leonard versus Hearns. That was early piracy, and now we are to where we have either like someone has a box like you or streaming services like StreamEast, Crack Streams, and that is how people watch it. And it's even relevant today because we just had a streaming example review, Anon versus Rambolek.
Yeah.
They decided to paywall that for us, which neither of us watched. Let's see, Rambolek wins the title, but we're not paying $9.99 for downloadable content, are we?
No.
Yeah, it's the same as like video games, like adding on. Yeah, and we won't be doing that. So it's still even a problem today. I think UFC going to Paramount is their attempt to try and overcome the streaming thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the only way to change behaviors because it's always just going to be whack-a-mole.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So younger fans, they're just kind of used to not buying. My coworker who was born in '96, he said he's never bought a pay-per-view in his life.
I'm sure a lot of younger people won't buy one.
Yeah.
I know most young kids they're savvy enough to
find a million different ways.
Find it anywhere it is, so.
Yeah, so the disconnect is kind of convenience versus legality. And if you make it convenient enough and cheap enough, I think people will pay whatever, like that $6 or $7 a month for Paramount.
Oh yeah. But you got the fight coming up, the Fandora Thurman fight. That's gonna be on pay-per-view. It's $75 for that fight.
Yeah, so why don't we do our quote-unquote preview now, which is like we don't even want to talk about. We don't even. I'm talking too loud. We don't even want to talk about the actual fight. We're not paying for that.
No.
Are you kidding me?
No.
And there's no way that's a pay-per-view. Hey, Fundora's up and coming, and Thurman 10 years ago was maybe worth it, but now
when he beat Danny Garcia, that was his heyday. I mean, and that was a while ago. So
yeah, Thurman's fought maybe 2 times since 2018. It just there's no way it's a pay-per-view.
Not a pay-per-view fight.
Yeah, so that is our Fundora versus Thurman preview. We got that off the list. So that's pretty much it. What's the last closed circuit you went to? Because I remember my last closed circuit.
I think it was Hagler Hearns.
Okay.
That was the last one I went to.
The last one I went to was De La Hoya versus Chavez. They purposely did not make that pay-per-view. Because they knew they had something with the Mexican fans. So they purposely went closed circuit only. That was Don King. He knew what he was doing. And so I watched that at Civic Center. You didn't have a choice.
Yeah, oh God.
Yeah. So that was my last. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever watch a closed circuit. I would watch closed circuit again for the right fight if it was big enough, just for like the community version of it.
I mean, they've done some recently, right?
They do them in theaters. Yeah, they do. They'll do UFCs in theaters even now. So I mean, I would do it just because I wanted to do it. Yeah, but it has to be something big, and that's another thing. Certainly during the Mayweather Pacquiao area, they just started making everything a pay-per-view. And it's like, no, man, a pay-per-view used to be a Hagler Hearns. It used to be,
fight,
it used to be and they just started doing everything.
Yeah.
And I think they started going to the well way too often.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Do we have anything else on this discussion?
No, that's about it.
Okay.
But I think the pay-per-view era pretty much is dying. It's going to die. It's not going to be around much longer, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, it's not sustainable because people have so many different options. And and if NFL now there will still be streaming. Yeah. But what do you call it? If the NBA and NFL and BN, is it BN or Bean? Bean. If even they can't combat it, it's over.
It's over. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of which, we're gonna move on to news. Further news items. We had some announcement. Top Rank signing with DAZN and Zuffa Boxing signing with Sky Sports, both on the same day. I'm sure that's just a coincidence. Just real quick, Top Rank. I am looking at the specifics, and let's see. Looks like 8 to 10 events a year in 200 plus markets, about $1 million and a quarter per event. But the key angle on this that no one's talking about, Top Rank, you also get their library. It's going to be on DAZN.
Yeah.
So that's Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Mayweather. All that's going to be on DAZN now.
Well, that was on ESPN as well when they were there. ESPN Plus.
And it no longer is. Yeah.
On DAZN.
So that's almost enough to justify owning DAZN. And DAZN now has 4 of the 5, looks like. Matchroom, Queensberry, Golden Boy, Top Rank.
Yeah, because Golden Boy just renewed their contract with DAZN. So
yeah. So Zuffa,
all we need is PBC to move over there.
Exactly, which probably could happen. Zuffa signing with Sky Sports. Why don't you tell me about this? Because it says the UK and Ireland. How come it's not UK and how come it's not Scotland and Wales and all that too?
Well, the UK is Scotland and Wales.
Okay, that's all right. All right. That answers that question. But tell me about Sky Sports over there.
Sky Sports is a big sports channel. They had boxing first. Matchroom was on there. And then Matchroom left when DAZN came into existence. Matchroom was the first boxing promotional company that went to DAZN, and they left Sky Sports. And then Boxer with Ben Shalom, they went to Sky Sports, and now they're off there. They've signed with the BBC. So Sky Sports didn't have a boxing promotional company there. So Zuffa's gone there. But the thing is with Zuffa said they're going to do 5 shows a year in England, but I don't think, apart from Conor Benn, I don't think they've signed anybody else in England, not that I know of. So I don't know how they're going to do 5 shows a year in England.
I have Cortez versus Garcia, whoever that is, April 5th, 2026. I guess that's supposed to be on Sky Sports for what it's worth.
But they do, and then the fights in the US in English time, that's 5 o'clock in the morning. So unless they have some really interesting fights gone, people in England are not going to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to watch, pretty much mediocre names.
Yeah, so there is an interesting angle. Turkey, because he's got influence on both. Now, he doesn't own both. Zuffa, he has direct involvement. DAZN, it's more of a DAZN, PIF, whatever that is, owns 10%, but it's just more of a strategic investment. But Turkey Turkey touches both sides of this. Very interesting. Yeah. Which, I mean, only goes to further your little
thing.
your little thing. It's all orchestrated. So it doesn't control both, but yeah, it does influence both. So this is something. Obviously, this basically influences us. This is how we're going to be consuming the content.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we will keep monitoring this. Moving on, and I'm only going to say this last name once, but Janibek Alimkhanuly. Janibek Alimkhanuly, and I'm just going to say Janibek. Now, this is not technically drug testing news because we already covered this, but he has been, stripped of the IBF title, but he's still going to be the WBO champion. He's suspended in Kazakhstan, and so because he had tested positive for melanoidome, so the IBF middleweight title is about to be up for grabs.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. I think any champion tests positive, he should be stripped.
Right.
I think the WBO should follow suit.
Right. So there is an interim title. Actually, no, WBO interim title between Denzel Bentley and Endry Saavedra is ordered, and I guess Janibek will fight one of them. Yeah. So we got that. Any other thoughts on that? So we just...
Yeah, I think that's good. If you cheat, you lose your title.
Right, exactly.
Simple as that.
And then our man Tommy Hearns has been placed under a conservatorship and guardianship. I actually happen to know a lot about this because it happened to Britney Spears, and me and my wife followed this. So I know a lot about conservatorships. But his son, Ronald, has been appointed his sole guardian. Going to do medical care, living arrangements, financial affairs, and apparently he does have dementia, which if you've been watching Tommy, it tracks. Yeah.
Well, there's a term for dementia that the boxers get, pugilistic dementia, and I think he's suffering from that. But it looks like some of the other family members, some cousins and stuff, they were they were exploiting him.
Yeah, his sister had set up a GoFundMe, that type of stuff. Yeah. So it looks like Ronald's going to just kind of handle everything, and
which is good.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of times, conservatorships are actually more appropriate when a relative gets older and stuff. Yeah. So I guess at one point his daughter wouldn't tell who he was, so where he was. So so he was technically kidnapped, but he did say he's released a statement, said he's fine.
So, that sort of thing, because they were trying to get him to remortgage his house and everything, and trying to get as much money out of him as possible. So
he looks like it has about $40 million in career earnings, but obviously that for most boxers that starts to run dry after a while. And I kind of hope it runs out with him and his kids get nothing. They can they can deal with it. His last cent should be the day he passes.
Yeah, exactly.
But I hope it works out for him. And
definitely.
I guess he has had hip replacement surgery. He's in physical therapy. So he is living with his son.
Yeah,
so
it's usually good.
Yeah, we love us some Tommy Hearns, and we just hope everything works out. And I hope that this is the right move, and his son has.
I think so. It sounds like it is, but
you never know. But we'll check in from time to time.
People go crazy when there's money around, right?
Yeah. And last thing we want to talk about, obviously, we try to keep this. We try to stay in our lane, but there is a war going on between the U.S. and Iran, and as people who follow Riyadh season, as people who are trying to look at a potential Usyk fight in Giza, this does impact us. We want to talk a little bit about how it impacts us, especially with Dubai International Airport being run kind of right now it's technically open, but it's degraded because of the bombings, whatever. And that's like a main hub. It's a main
big hub
for travel to Middle East, Asia. Just what are your thoughts?
I think this the busiest airport in the world.
Yeah, that's my understanding too. And it's severely limited right now because of all this stuff.
Well, I think with the war, I think right now a lot of sporting events are being cancelled.
F1,
F1
right?
was cancelled. The flag football game with Tom Brady, it got cancelled.
Yeah, it got moved. Kell Brook had something that was going to be in Dubai, got moved to Manchester.
Well, and Canelo was supposed to fight in Saudi on September 12th, and that was going to be a Mexico versus the world card, which was Canelo's big thing. But now that's in jeopardy, obviously, because of what's happened. And also with Turkey Al-Sheikh, I mean, a lot of his funds come from the oil and stuff, so will they start penny pinching and pull back on some of his other boxing promotions, even if they're not in that region?
Yeah, and one of the problems is all you need is really just the perception that it's dangerous, just the perception that it's not a good place to go. And like that, because doing a fight, there's more to it. You got to hire staff. You got to you got to actually physically get equipment over. So it's not just we're just having a fight. So and just with that perception, with insurers and everything, it just.
Yeah, with all the filming of it, the television companies, whether it's DAZN, they bring in their own crews and stuff worldwide. So it gets filmed worldwide, and then there's obviously other countries that are bringing their crew to film it. So, it's going to
so there's just the logistics of actually bringing it in, and then there's like how do you insurance, whatever. So basically, you can control money, you can control venues, you can control production, but you cannot control stability, movement, perception. And this is where it's interesting in the Giza fight, because nothing's going on in Egypt, but it's still in the region. Enough, So now travel is harder. Tourism is going to drop, so you're not really going to have any fans there. Media presence is going to shrink. It's a lot harder to put this on now if this continues.
Plus the price of oil going up, so flights are going to be a lot more expensive than they normally are, which as well, that's going to deter a lot of people.
Which could affect us in May as well. So yeah, it's just something to think about. Obviously, we don't want to give our thoughts on the war as a broader thing, but yeah, it's definitely you could just see it's kind of touching all things.
Oh yeah,
and it's touching our area of expertise, I guess. Yeah, it's touching our little world.
It's definitely going to affect us.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you think happened? Let's just say it ended today. Do you think it would still have like cascading effects, even if it just ended today?
Well, the Canelo fight in September may go ahead if it ends today. May go ahead there. But if not, I think they'll probably move that fight to the US. Yeah. Okay. Which I think would be better anyway. I think the fights in Saudi, the crowds, you need a US crowd for a Canelo fight.
Oh, yeah. I agree. If you're going to have a Mexico versus the world, you should be either Mexico or America or something. Yeah. I totally agree. All right. Well, trigger alert to our listeners. We also review heavy. We got a lot of stuff to review.
A couple of reviews there.
Yeah. I want to start with One Friday Nights 146, and this is not a review, but I brought this up to you. We're not reviewing this one, but Arsenal versus Jai Opetaia, a 25-year-old versus a 15-year-old. What is going on in Thailand? And by the way, the 15-year-old was like 40-9 or something.
Yeah. Well, you're 15-year-old Muay Thai fighter in Thailand. You're a grandfather. Well, you start very young.
We're not going to review the fight because it was an okay fight, but I don't. 25 versus 15. What are you doing? Do you want to do Dechawalid first or Klorenkai first?
We could do Dechawalid first.
So that was the main event. That was Dechawalid versus Denis Datsenko.
Yeah.
And
Datsenko, Ukrainian fighter.
Yeah. And that was like second round Dechawalid.
Second round knockout.
Yeah. But even when Dechawalid had a little nosebleed even while he was winning. Man.
Yeah. Well, the Ukrainians, that they can box. They've got good hands. So he took a couple of shots, but in the end, he was just too good. And
he definitely had that upright stance. I love that European
style.
Yeah. So Dechawalid second round KO, and then we had a Klorenkai versus Singharet via second round KO, but man, Singharet, this almost was like our fight we talked about earlier. He had a pretty bad cut. It was actually both eyes.
Let's go, But the thing was, he had a really bad first round.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to lose, but he just came back in the second round and he came out like a bat out of hell and scored a knockout. Yeah,
and Klorenkai gets dropped and it's over. But man, just both his eyes, they're puffy. And I think the cut, at least the first cut, came from a punch and not an elbow, which is interesting. And I think the difference there is with the elbow, you're just going to get that cut. You normally not going to really get the swelling, but it's a punch. That's where you start to get the swelling.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it could be below both his eyes were swollen. It's kind of
Okay, and then one fight night we had Hugh versus Sula Black, and this was kickboxing. But this guy Hugh, he's from Japan. I guess he had a karate background.
Yeah,
and you've actually you have a bit of a karate background.
I have a karate background as well. Yes. Yeah.
Apparently that stuff works every now and then because he dropped Sula Black with a spinning heel kick to the midsection, and when you get that right to the midsection, oh my God.
Stuff. And after that, he just went straight after the body. He landed a bunch of body punches, put him down again.
And Sula Black landed a few shots. He stood in there, but the final knee. Oh my God.
Yeah, you could feel that one. That was it.
Hugh via first round KO, but actually, so the link that I'm adding is because these are on Amazon Prime, you can only get the highlights. This one, someone recorded it with their phone, but it's a really good recording, so it's worth. So we have a link to the actual fight, cool. and it looks proper.
Oh man, good.
So, all right, and then we promised last time we're doing it this time. We're doing some Rajamon World Series.
Oh yeah,
because we have and. Rajamon World Series keeps falling by the wayside, and we just got so much stuff, but we got to get to them every now and then. So we made it an absolute point to squeeze it in this time. And we had two. We had a Soltis versus Singh Payak, and Singh Payak had a pretty bad day.
Oh yeah, well Singh Payak was a lot shorter.
He was noticeably.
The height difference was. Drastic height difference. So he was swimming upstream most of the time.
And the tall guys, and as a short guy, knows these tall guys love their knees and love their elbows. And you got an elbow, but he finished Song Payak with a flying knee. And hey, sometimes flying knees miss, and sometimes
they land.
And
sometimes they land cleanly.
They land clean, and I mean, that's nice they got him a stretcher, I guess. Yeah. But it seemed like he need more medical attention than that. I mean, that's a start.
Oh, well, we have to get him out so they can start the next bout. So.
Yeah, between that and the 15-year-old, come on, Ties. Come on, you are a developed country. Anyway, so Soltis versus second round decimation, and Singh Payak, I hope he's okay. I haven't heard any different. Full disclosure, I didn't bother to check. I
think he's okay.
Yeah.
He's unconscious for a while, but he's okay.
Yeah. All right. He's probably already fighting again this week.
In Thailand, yeah.
Okay. And then we had Josh Hill versus Dmitry Menshikov. Menshikov, to me, looked like an MMA fighter. But boy, was he
he's a big, solid Russian guy. You can just tell.
And just coming straight forward the whole time.
It's his record. He's 74-2.
Yeah. And just just coming forward, drops Hill with an uppercut, and then the finish on this, which was a hook and an overhand combo. It was really nice.
It was a good finish.
And and it was funny. He got dropped with the uppercut, and Josh Hill was protesting. I'm like, what are you protesting, buddy?
That was a knockdown.
Did you not see the? I mean, obviously you didn't see. Did you not feel it? No, that was a knockdown. Yeah. And beautiful finish by Menshikov. Any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, Josh Hill's a good fighter, and he had good techniques. He had a good roundhouse kick to the body, and when he started landing that, I thought he would get some, good effect of that. But Menshikov is just a tough.
One of those guys. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And when someone just makes up their mind to walk forward like that, on a technical level, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. But if they're just not going to respect you and come forward, there's really not much you can do.
It's like fighting a brick wall. You
exactly.
Know what I mean? No matter how much you hit it.
Yeah. So that was our RWS. We're gonna try and do more, but God, we just get so busy, and but it's not us, disrespecting Rajamon World Series.
Rajamon World Series is good.
Yeah, and so we had one Friday Night Fights, 147. We're gonna do the main event first for a reason, but we had Nango, who's a 39-year-old legend, versus Asadullah Imangzaliev, and man, is probably Imangzaliev, since we've been doing this podcast, I think that's the one guy we hadn't heard of who now we just probably
yeah,
our favorite
yeah.
guy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He might be one of the best strikers alive right now.
He is. I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he's the best guy.
Especially at 22.
I know. It's crazy.
And he's
You
just,
know?
and he's an intelligent, first of all, I mean,
Yeah.
he's strong, his techniques are wonderful, but he's intelligent. Like
Yeah.
way back early, he had done the axe kick into the spinning back fist.
Yeah.
And this time, he finishes Nongo off with a leg catch, and it was a 3-piece. It was a left hook to the head, right hook to the body, left hook to the head, and it was
perfect.
It was perfect, and it was quick. Like
Yeah.
I missed it the first time.
Oh, yeah.
I knew it was coming and
Yeah.
missed it the first time.
Well, when I watched that repeat, then you saw how deep that body punch sunk in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that contributed to the knockout greatly.
Yeah.
But he's just so calm,
Yeah.
relaxed. He's got a wide range of techniques, probably more than anybody else in stand-up game right now. So he's an incredible fighter. He's got, I don't know how far he's going to go, but
Well-
it looks like there's no limits on how far he can go.
Well, there's some bad news for Nongo because he's still the champ. Asadullah was a misweight or mishydration.
Miss weight, hydration.
So he made. So
hydration.
what's the difference? You have to.
I think you can't weigh above a certain amount the next
okay,
day. Yeah.
got it. So he's probably gonna have to fight this guy again.
I don't think he will.
He'll probably just retire.
was like, I'm 39.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting this young kid.
I hope so. So the reason why we went main event first, we had Suryanlik, who, by the way, it feels like he fights every week. I checked, is actually 6 times we've seen him, but
Yeah.
versus Gregor Tom.
He's a good fighter as well, Gregor Tom.
Yeah, what a fight though.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Suryanlik is just, he's like a little pit bull. He's like one of the toughest little guys I've ever seen. I don't know what you can do to discourage him.
So what I said, he was like a horror movie villain because at the beginning of the second, Tom did kind of that front sweep at the gym. We used to call it a Rufus.
Yeah.
And it just, I was about to say, I almost said completely. It looked like it disabled him. Suryanlik just basically switched stances and kept limping forward nonstop. He actually got knocked out. And I had to say something about, there was a knockdown in the second round. And it was just notable because the referee, Kitsada Fontu, lets obvious knockdowns go all the time.
Yeah.
This one was kind of more of a slip, and he called it a knockdown.
Cool,
like,
yeah.
you let stuff go all the time, and this is a knockdown?
down.
But didn't matter because Suryanlik comes back in the third round and knocks down Tom.
Yeah. But I think that the referees kind of give Suryanlik was in such distress from that kick to the leg.
Fair.
I think it's okay, let me call it a knockdown, give him some time, you know?
And Gregor Tom was doing a great job still targeting that leg. Even when it was the back leg, he was still, I mean, once again, when a guy's coming forward, there's only so much you could do. He was doing a great job, but Suryanlik just would not be denied. And when he knocked him down, the roof was coming off that place.
God, yeah.
People were going nuts. And I love with every punch, you just get the every single punch.
Well, Suryanlik as well, because he's not a southpaw, but when he went southpaw with his left hand, he was throwing some really hard shots.
Yeah.
And that's how he got the knockdown. Crazy.
So Suryanlik via unanimous decision, and it was just so fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
So we linked. Make sure you watch it. And then our last review was last night on DAZN. Carlos Adames versus Austin Williams, and this was supposed to be on the undercard of was it the Garcia fight or was it the Shakur fight? I think it was supposed to be on the undercard.
One of those.
One of those, and somebody got sick or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, this was a leftover. I guess I didn't realize Adames was the WBC middleweight champion, which is the guy who beat the guy who beat the guy. Yeah.
Well, I remember that Shiraz fought him for the title.
Yeah.
And then they gave it a draw, which Adames should have won.
Right.
Clearly should have won.
Right.
You know, and then and Shiraz beat
Munguia, right? Not
no,
Munguia.
He beat up Ammo Williams, didn't he? He knocked him out.
Okay,
So they've both fought Shiraz, and Adames did clearly better.
Well, didn't Shiraz also beat up Berlenga?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, knocked out Berlenga.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, Williams got dropped in the second. You thought it might be over, but hey,
he's tough.
He hung in there. Yeah. But basically, I thought Adames kind of dominated this fight.
He dominated it. And then what Ammo Williams was doing as well, he'd start at the beginning of the round, the first 20 seconds, he'd look good, and then after that, he'd deteriorate.
Yeah.
During pretty much every round.
Yeah.
Which is the wrong way to do it. What you want to do is you want to close the round strong.
Right.
So the judges, the last thing they see is the first thing they'll remember. So you can actually steal rounds that way. but he wasn't. He was winning the beginning of the rounds, then getting pretty much dominated for the rest of the round.
I thought Adamas, I thought his conditioning looked really like in the 6th, 7th round. He still looked like fresh, and that was really impressive.
Yeah.
So he finished via unanimous decision. I don't like the way strategically, like just from a strategic aspect, the way Adamas closed out the fight. But as a fan, I love the way he closed out the fight. I'm like, you're winning, stay away. But he's like, no, he tried to go for the knockout, and he did give Ammo at least a chance. To do something. Well, he couldn't. Yeah,
I think his Ammo was just kind of burnt out by then. He didn't have enough power to really, pull off an upset.
So great job, and as we talked about earlier, the middleweight title is up for grab. But
Adamas now says he's moving up to 168. So that's where all the action is. You got Shiraz, you got Mbili, you got Lester Martinez.
Yeah.
So he said he wants to move up and get some of that smoke. So
why not, man? Yeah. So, all right. So, and we already did our Fundora versus Thurman. I guess just for fun, we already talked about why it's a stupid pay-per-view. Who you got?
Fundora.
Yeah, Fundora. Yeah, I think Thurman's washed. And not only that, even at his best, he was never that great a boxer. No. Like he was never a good technical boxer. And I do think Fundora's actually getting better.
He's getting a lot better. Yeah, because before he used to not use his reach as well.
Yeah,
and now he's using his reach. Which is enormous reach.
And you think about it, Thurman and Zhu have a lot in common, like the way they fight. They try and overpower you. So, and we already see what Fundora does that. Yeah. So, I think Fundora is going to smoke him.
Yeah, I think so as well.
And it won't be worth $80.
No.
No. We got one more coming up was Moses Atoma versus Jermaine Franklin. I think Moses continues to be Moses.
Moses Atoma. We'll see. But Franklin's a tough guy, so I think Franklin will give him a few rounds.
Well,
and maybe some problems.
Yeah.
But I want to see somebody like test Atoma a little bit because so far he's just been walking through everybody quite easily. So.
And what did Usyk say about him? I don't want to mess up his confidence or something. That's one way to put it.
That's Usyk. Very feel.
Okay, that's very nice of you, Usyk. All right, well, that about wraps it up for a pretty packed episode. Do you have any more thoughts other than, of course, our R.I.P. Chuck Norris?
Yeah, that's it. It's like a big loss, Chuck Norris. But he had a good life, and he brought a lot to the game of martial arts and promoted it well. And also his charity. That he got going. I think Sylvester Stallone or Schwarzenegger is going to take over that charity for him now and keep running it.
Awesome.
So he used to help underserved kids with not just with martial arts, just getting them out of trouble and helping their lives. So.
I mean, I do think martial arts is a good way to do it because it teaches you discipline, and also if you get to the right gym, there's like a lot of camaraderie, and that kind of replaces the whole gang thing, or it's almost like another gang, but in a positive way.
Yeah.
And man, once you start hitting bags and hitting people in the face, you don't feel the need to go out and hit other people.
Yeah, it takes all that, especially young people that got all that aggression.
Yeah,
it takes it out of them.
Yeah, get it out on the bag, get it out on the pads. I totally agree. What's our 5-minute fights this week?
It's going to be Tommy Morrison versus Michael Bent.
Okay, yeah. So it's probably going to be more like a 3-minute fight if you know the fights. I could not get a full 5 minutes out of that. All right, that's about it. Thank you so much, Edge. Do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, thanks. Make sure to follow us on social media. We'll see you next time. We are out.